So let's now talk about a game that is single-handedly ensuring that our switches are always on and on sleep mode. Right? Like right now, if you wake up my Switch, it'll say SteamWorld Dig 2 on it, and I think yours will be.
Yeah. I actually, you wanted to play NBA on my Switch before, so I bumped out. But SteamWorld Dig had been in sleep mode for 3 or 4 days now.
Yeah,
and it's the kind of thing where like I'm waking up. And I'm waking up before my wife and going into the room and grabbing my Switch and sitting on the couch and playing 2 hours before work. And then I'm getting home from work and I'm turning it on and I'm playing another 3 or 4.
So I played it in bed last night.
Yeah.
And I
Go on.
should have gone to sleep like the rest of my family.
Right.
Yeah, that's where the story ends for Zach. And then I kept on playing, and there was this one level that I'll talk about that a little bit more, that just was making me very, very mad.
Okay.
Because this game balances exploration that is not very complicated. And if you take your time and you explore this 2D landscape by digging down, you get better equipment to help you dig through certain rocks. So it has that Metroidvania aspect of getting more tools, and like the hook shot equivalent, grappling hook and all that. But it is. You play it at your own pace, and so you can get yourself in trouble, but you can also play carefully. Yeah. And then there's some of these challenge levels. You go through a doorway, and it will kick your ass, and it will keep you playing for an hour. Yeah.
So to give people a sort of like big sort of pie in the sky rundown of what this game is, because I got a lot of questions on Twitter. I was tweeting about how just wonderful this game is. SteamWorld Dig 2 is effectively a kind of action platforming game with RPG elements and some sort of Metroid meets Dig Dug style gameplay. It's a sequel to SteamWorld Dig, which you don't have to play to enjoy this one. That's a lot of people ask me that. Although I saw it was like it's free on Origins and a bunch of other places. You can get it pretty cheap. It's been on almost every console.
The first one, yeah,
except for mobile. The second one takes the foundation from the first one and does what a perfect sequel should do.
You search for the main character in this one, right? So the quest is like find the main character from the first one.
Yeah, and I think they take every single thing from the original game and just make it just a little bit better. I think the art style is better. I think the way the game flows is better. The general loop of the game is that you're this character with mining equipment. You go into a cave that just keeps going down or diagonal or branches off in different directions, and you dig. And while digging, you find materials, which you can bring back up to the surface and sell to upgrade your jetpack and your lantern and your all these different items and things like that. And throughout that, you'll fight some bigger enemies, some bosses. But the cool thing is that there are caves all over the game. Like Per was just describing, these sort of like hidden challenge levels. And in each one of these caves, there's kind of a different hook. And it feels very like something... It feels like the shrines in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, very cool.
Where like you walk into one and you're like, this one has a theme. This one has an idea. And if you solve it, you're rewarded with some cool stuff. Sometimes that's like a permanent upgrade to your character. Yep. Sometimes it's these sort of like screws that you can now apply to your character to open up new upgrades to make yourself bigger, stronger, faster, all that kind of stuff. And then you bring them all back up to the surface and you go back down and you keep digging. And it's just so great. It just works so well. I don't know how to put this game down.
That's it. I feel like it's a game that you can keep playing for a long time in like one sitting. I mean, it's a perfect game for like an airplane flight, like cross country or something. But like to give you an example then of a challenge room, right? There's some rooms that are puzzles that you have to solve. We're not going to give away on how to solve a puzzle. But in this case, you walk into a room and it's called The Floor is Lava.
Yeah.
And instead of lava, and there's lava in the game, there's switches on the floor and parts of the ceiling. And when you touch a switch, the door closes. And you have to go back, flip a switch, and the door opens again. So you have to use your grappling hook to get through the room without ever touching the floor. Then you have a breather, and the next door segment comes up. And I played it for over an hour. I kept cursing, like you can't throw your switch, like you can throw a controller. And I was getting so mad. At the end, so you get through and you get a reward for doing all that, but there's a final reward that is now optional where you have to beat the entire thing without ever touching a switch.
Okay.
So not just a segment, you have to redo the entire thing, make it in one go without any errors. And it's just like, it's brutal, but it's awesome.
That was just a portion of the conversation. For the full episode, head to youtube.com/Nintendo Voice Chat. You can also get the show on iTunes. Be sure to subscribe there and head to IGN.com for even more.